This month, I am kicking off a series called Rep Your Crew. First up is FEAR MKE. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Runway Podcast. I am your host, Kim. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. I am so grateful to have you here. If you are a return listener of the show, welcome back. I am so happy that you continue to join me week after week. This month, I am kicking off a Rep Your Crew series. There have been so many run crews popping up all over the United States. Some of them you've heard of, some of them you haven't. And I thought it would be great to bring different run crews to you so you can learn about them, get information on the cities that they're in. So hopefully when all of this COVID business is over, you'll be able to visit them. And just to get an idea of how different run crews are functioning across the United States and the world. First up is Milwaukee-based run crew FEAR MKE, and I had the pleasure of chatting with Tenia and Karlie. Let's get into it. Please welcome Karlie and Tenia to the show. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, thank you. Hi.
Of course. Thank you for being on. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tenia, you can go first.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Again, my name is Tenia Fisher. I am a first grade teacher in Milwaukee at a charter school. And I've been running since I was 12. I ran in high school as well, and then got a full scholarship to University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee to run track and cross country there. Wow. And then when I could not run any longer because it was over, mm-hmm. I had to go into trying to run 5Ks and half marathons and stuff like that. So I guess a lifelong runner. And I'm the health and wellness director for Social X, which FEAR is underneath that umbrella under. And I sit on the board for Girls on the Run here in southeastern Wisconsin. So everything revolves around running and education.
Okay. And Karlie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, so I'm Karlie Tatum. I am an event coordinator. I'm currently working for Milwaukee Area Technical College, so planning all of their fun events. So my background in running is a little bit different. I did grow up running like AAU track, but actually in high school and college, I was a thrower. So running was not my favorite thing. I actually just asked my coach if I could throw instead. And so that kind of was my path. After college, I was like, okay, what do I do with my life? I'm not competing. Mm-hmm. I stumbled across FEAR in like 2018 and I loved them. And so they got me into running. I was a person who like didn't even want to run a mile. And now I'm like running half marathons. So
sounds like a lot of our stories into what I like to call recreational running for us older adults now.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about FEAR MKE. What does that stand for? Because it's not FEAR, it's F.E.A.R.
Yeah. So FEAR stands for Forget Everything and Run. So we really try to embody that and welcome all levels of running. Even though me and Karlie did just say how we were collegiate athletes, mm-hmm. That is not the makeup of our group. So it literally is forget everything and run. So forget your fears, haha, pun intended, and forget anything that may be holding you back from joining the group or running.
Mm-hmm. So when did the group get started?
The group was founded in 2015. It was actually founded by Nairi Davidson. So he was with a group in DC called District Running Collective. They're another run group in a run crew in DC. And Nairi felt like it was a need to have something like that in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how it got started.
Okay. And what is the racial makeup of the group?
As far as like age?
No, like racial, like black, white.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
What does it look like?
Yeah, the mission is definitely to encourage more young professionals of color to run. So majority our makeup is African Americans, which is something you don't see a lot in the running community, and especially not in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So the makeup is mostly African Americans. We are starting to get more of a like Caucasian-based following, especially after the article that came out. A lot of support and allies from other races, but our main mission is definitely to have more people of color join and run.
And you had an article in Run. I was following you guys before that article, but I did see the article in Runner's World magazine. So how did they approach you? How did that come about?
So we, during the COVID and the civil unrest was very unfortunate times, and it was giving us a chance to speak out a lot about what was going on. And our former protest was running, and we also got opportunity to write about Ahmaud Arbery and our feelings and frustrations towards that. So we did end up getting a lot of attention, and then we wrote that article, and there was a couple other articles that were released. And a girl, the author that wrote the Runner's World article, she actually came to run with FEAR before, and she liked everything and read the other articles, and she said this needs to be more written about more, and I want to go more into depth. So when she reached out, she just said, I want to write a story about you guys, this and that. We're like, oh, cool. Yeah, that's great. And then the email was like, oh, who it's for. And I literally screamed oh, that's like a runner's dream. So that was for sure my dream. So it was very organic, very local. That's somebody that literally came to our group and enjoyed running with us. And so that was like a really great and fortunate opportunity that we got to share our story and shed light on people of color, Black and brown, in the running community.
So how often does your group meet, and where and when do you meet?
Yes, so we, on a typical day without COVID, we meet every Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Usually right now we're meeting at a local restaurant. And then on Saturdays we meet down by the lake, and we do our long run Saturdays in the morning.
And how have your group runs pivoted since COVID? I know a lot of groups are in meeting, and things have just changed. Everything's changed in the world. So I know running groups are organizing their runs differently these days.
Yeah, so things changed a little bit for us. Thanks to Tenia's leadership, we went on lockdown right before the beginning of our running season, and Tenia's we're not pushing back our start date to running. We're gonna figure out how we can do this virtually. So as captains, we all came together, had a meeting, and we're like, how can we make this work? And we wanted to still set it up just like we would typically do a Tuesday evening run. So we kept it that way. It was still every Tuesday evening at 6:00 p.m. So the way that we did it is we typically when we're meeting in person, one of the captains would lead, we'll do announcements, and then we'll lead a warm up, and then we'll all go for our run. And we'll either do a shorter distance or a long distance group. But we were we're gonna do it IG Live. So
I was wondering about that because I saw something last week, and I said, this one person, it was a gentleman, he was someplace, and then the rest of the group was someplace else, which I thought was very cool and interesting, and a good way to pivot your group runs.
Yeah, so one of the captains, each week would take turns, and we would go live from our IG account, and we'll lead warm-ups. It was a way for us to still feel like we're doing it together. We wanted to make sure we're all still meeting at the same time, we're still running at the same time. So it was nice to even interact and see people cracking jokes in the comments, just like we were there in person. So we would Tenia will log on as well and do whatever announcements we had. We give a big safety talk because now people are running on their own and not in a big group. And then we would just, go ahead and run. We'll ask like, who's going to do the short distance today? Who's going to do a longer distance? And we asked all of the people that were running with us to take selfies at the end, or take a screenshot of their app after they're done, and just tag us on our Instagram story. So it was nice to still have that together.
Yeah. So how are you all keeping your members motivated? Because I know a lot of people have fell off, during COVID, and groups keep people going, when they have people that are running with them, it'll make them want to get out and run. So being that a lot of people are running singularly, do you have like a Facebook group, or do you have any other avenues to motivate your members?
Yeah. So the great thing about FEAR is that we are under the umbrella of Social X. So that is our business to encourage young professionals to stay in Milwaukee and to retain talent and to attract talent. So being the health and wellness director, every January we have a challenge, and it's 30 for 30. So you work out for 30 days for 30 minutes. So that's currently what we're doing right now. So everyone is posting, you have to post your workout, a picture of it or whatever you want to do. People get creative with it. And then you just use the hashtag SXFit21. And then people can click on that hashtag and see other people that are working out. And that kind of that holds you accountable. Even though we're not together, you're still like online and you're seeing people post. And there's also we have a calendar that you could post in your Instagram story. So people can put like a little check mark or a little GIF or whatever they want in that box for each day. And then everyone's following along. It's kind of like cheering each other on and holding people accountable. Now, here in Wisconsin, it's very cold and there's snow on the ground. So I do want people to be safe. So we may not be running right now, but at least we're doing something active. And just seeing other people working out, and that will motivate you a lot on social media. So that's kind of how we use our motivation, our base.
Now I'm kicking off. You guys are my first in this Run Crew series. And I wanted to talk to you first because you're in a city that was not on my radar. I've never been to Wisconsin or Milwaukee in particular. And I read a lot of not so great things about the city. And I just want to know, how does that factor into your recruitment of members? Because I know I read that it's very segregated still in the city. So I know all cities have their neighborhoods. We have Black neighborhoods, mixed neighborhoods, etc. But what's the makeup of Milwaukee?
So I am born and raised in Milwaukee. I believe Karlie is too. Yeah. So the makeup is still, Runner's World didn't come out that long ago. It's still very segregated. It is. And there's a lot of factors that need to happen in order to change that. And what we're doing with FEAR is one of those things. For them to see a diverse group of young professionals running along the lake. Now the lake is where, to describe Milwaukee, where a lot of big homes are built and a lot of rich people live, and to see a big group of diverse people, and especially Black people running, I think that's bridging that, that gap right there. I'm an educator. There's only so much that we can do, but we're doing it to bridge that gap and try to have it not be so segregated and show that, we care about our health and we care about our city. Both of us being from Milwaukee and we haven't left yet, we know plenty of people that have left. We're dedicated to helping, cure that segregation that's in the city. And this is one of the things that we know how to do and what we can do to help that. They love to paint the bad picture of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, for sure. That's going to be, you Google that, it's going to be a lot of the bad things about and negative things about Milwaukee that you pull up. But you're meeting us right now, and to hear our story and to hear about Social X and what we're doing to bridge that gap, that's one of the gems. But they're not going to paint that pretty picture yet, So you have to dig and try to find the best of it. But we may be segregated, but we are, you know, working together to try to make that change for sure.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, like, one of the reasons, like, how I found FEAR, actually one of the captains I had met in a meeting. So my previous job, I used to work for the public school district in Milwaukee, and I planned a lot of big athletic events. And so one of mine was our run back to school event. And so I met with someone that was like, we would love to come and like volunteer at your event. And I was like, okay. And that's how they invited me to come run. Did not know what I was getting myself into. But I actually happened to see them. I was driving towards the lake, actually meeting someone for coffee, and I saw this big group of Black runners. And I was like, this has to be the group that guy was telling me about for my meeting. So I was like, okay, I need to reach out to him. So I made sure the next day that I sent him an email, and I was like, hey, when do you guys meet again? And then he invited me to come. So it's just like even seeing people that look like you that are exercising, because I've always like been exercising, but I haven't been running. But I was like, oh, these Black people are running, like they all look like me. I want to come and be a part of that. And then we also give back a lot. Like we're making sure that we're in the community, and even our babies are seeing us. I know like the run back to school, that was huge for us to have FEAR as a cheer section. While students are, doing their first 5K, whether they're walking or running. And that was an event to raise money for youth sports for the school district. So we're making sure that we're getting out there and showing our kids that like there are people that look just like you that are out here running long distance and being active in the city.
Do you feel like it's hard? Because I hate when they like put titles on, cities, because we live there. We know what it's like. You live in the city, you know what it's really like. So do you think that it's like a hindrance for Black people to want to come out and run with you? Because running is free, right? But when we get down into the nitty gritty of it, running ain't free. We got to buy the shoes, we got to buy the fly gear. So at the end of the day, we are spending money to run. So is that like a hindrance for anybody in the Milwaukee area, in the neighborhoods that want to come out and run with you?
I think our biggest hindrance is Black people ourselves are just, I feel like sometimes we have such a hard time of getting outside of that box. Like we grew up watching basketball and like aspiring to be like a basketball player, or, and no one's ever encouraged you, like, come do rock climbing, come do yoga, and now yoga, like Black yogis are a huge thing, which is awesome now. So I think it's just like exposure, experience, and representation. So I knew I had no coordination. I had no business being on nobody's basketball court, no court. So I knew early where I was supposed to be. But I think that's the great thing about Social X, that we are trying to bridge that fitness gap. So whether running might not be for you, like let's go rock climbing. Like maybe that would be something that you would love. So I think the hindrance is just literally the fear of running. Like you don't experience that. You never met anybody that ran. You just don't know. And that could be scary. But I think the great thing is that we are such a welcoming family. And I always tell people, like, all you have to do is show up. Like, I promise we'll take care of you. And you'll be okay. You won't get lost. You're not going to die. You're not like, I'm not going to leave you. Like a captain won't just leave you, let you go. And, like we're a family, and we're going to make sure you go out and you have fun and you make it back safely. So that's like the big thing.
I know we touched earlier on the Ahmaud Arbery situation, the murder actually. And, I know that shook a lot of us runners to the core because he was one of us essentially. So what did FEAR MKE do in the wake of the Ahmaud Arbery tragedy?
Like I mentioned earlier before, we did write an article, me, another captain, Renell Washington, and another captain, Danielle Nabak. We wrote an article expressing our frustrations about it and like actions that can take place. So we all participated in the 2.23 run for Ahmaud Arbery as well. Mm-hmm. So we all made sure to run our 2.23 or longer to celebrate him and to just bring awareness. And Ahmaud Arbery was kind of that, like, really kicked everything off, that I think that pissed enough runners off, you know. So we definitely did start protesting and you know, using that as our platform. And I know some runners, you know, will run and we dedicated our runs to Breonna Taylor, to George Floyd, to Ahmaud Arbery, to, you know, these countless names, and using that platform. So with the civil unrest and COVID, like I said before, we did end up getting a lot more attention, and we were using those times to speak about it. So it was no longer being quiet about anything and what our mission is. Like, okay, our mission is for more Black people to be running, period. Because this is why. Because Ahmaud Arbery is why. Yeah, you're scared to run because white people are not expected to see white people running. That's how sick and how sad it is in the running community. So now we're not going to hold our tongue anymore, and we're going to, you know, call people out. And just like in the Runners World article, I didn't hold my tongue. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the running community being so just for this one group. And it's time for our group to be in there too. Mm-hmm. So I think that's how we channeled that. And I think we did like a really good job of doing that. And it's not over. Ahmaud Arbery was not the first. And sadly, he is not the last. But I think that just kicked everything off. And I think this is just us getting started with really what our mission is for sure.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the running community, because I'm in New York City. Well, I'm in the suburbs, but I grew up in New York City. But even when I went to races in New York City, I'm still of a few at the races. What does the race scene look like in Milwaukee pre-COVID, of course?
The same.
Is it like the same? Yeah.
Probably worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New York is bigger. I'm pretty sure it's probably worse. I have been to races and literally counted how many people looked like me. I was like at a water station. So I got to see everybody. Like before I ran a marathon, before I ran my first ever marathon, I was like, I wonder, you know, that's weird. How many people do I see like me? That stands out. Like for me to want to count that. Yeah, but no, it's the same makeup. And then forget seeing people that look like me running it. We're trying to host it. We're actually running it. Like literally. I'm the race director. Mm-hmm. Like Karlie's running the water stand. Like, no. So that's the next step. Forget asking to join somebody else's race. No, we want to just have our own name.
So are there any Black-owned racing companies yet in Milwaukee? Because we have one here. One.
No.
Yeah.
I know one in Atlanta, that's two. And that's
no. We will change that though. Believe that. Things are coming.
Yeah.
But, yeah, things are brewing. But for sure, we do host a 5K though, and I think our 5K is one of the best races put on in Wisconsin. It's just we're small and a lot of people don't know about it, but we host a 5K and we do a whole block party afterwards where for $10 you get a t-shirt, drink, free food, DJ.
I'm gonna need you to raise that price a little bit.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
More than what we're charging.
Yeah. We want to get, but these other races, they have so many, these big sponsors and stuff like that. No, I think we can keep charging what we can. We need these corporations to back us. What makes it different? Yeah. So that it's nothing that changes with that. These big corporations that are backing these big majority white Races. That's all that's all is needed. That's it. There's nothing else different.
So are there any races happening in Milwaukee now or the state of Wisconsin? Every state is different. Like barely anything is happening here, but I see other states, they're racing and, you know, everything's normal.
We're not.
Nothing?
No, yeah, we're not. We're not doing anything in person. Yeah, we're not doing anything in person. They pretty much moved everything virtual. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. Not here.
So are you
Our
guys
numbers are still pretty wild.
Yeah. Are you guys planning to do any in-person group runs anytime soon? No?
So our season starts in April, the first Tuesday in April. So we will see how things are and if it's safe, we can. We did do our last run of our last season. So the last run we did was at the end of October. We did run all together, masks covered, spaced apart. So we did do that, but that was just because it was like the last one and kind of just wanted to do it. But we really want everyone to be safe. And in Wisconsin, we are not all on one accord. So each city is doing something different. So it's not
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And when I say cities, like when our city, like Milwaukee is literally down, like you can walk a block and be in another city and they're like open. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, our cities are not very far apart at all. So it's very scary and like touchy.
Yeah.
So when I get back to chasing, because I'm running a half marathon in every state, hopefully we'll get that started back soon. So what race should I have on my calendar in Milwaukee that I should be doing? Because I want to come to the area with the Black folks, so I don't want to be
Yeah.
We will take care of you.
Yeah.
Kenosha
or one of them other states. I want to.
Yeah, Kenosha. That don't got nothing to do with us.
No.
Not just we're in Milwaukee. No, Brewers Mini. That is that's super fun. So it's at the our baseball stadium. And you run around that neighborhood and you finish in the stadium, kind of run around there and then like run outside. And we usually get a really, really big crowd for that. And I think we had probably about 30 people probably signed up last year from our group, or what, 2 years ago?
Actually, may have been a little bit more than that. We had a very big group. It's exciting.
Yeah, so that'd be really fun. Then we eat afterwards together and stuff like that. So that
wait, is it cold though? Because I can't be running no races in the cold.
No.
To the cold to freeze my butt off. So what month is that in?
Brewers Mini is in
usually like August or September.
Yeah.
Oh, the weather's still pretty good.
Yeah, in the morning it's a little chilly, but then you'll be okay. No, it's not the worst. We would never do that. We don't even like running. So
tell me a little bit about what is the name? Social X?
Social X. Yeah. So we're a business that encourages young professionals of color to stay in Milwaukee and also to attract attention in Milwaukee. We have 6 pillars. Mine is health and wellness, obviously. And then, so Social X was founded by Nairi Davidson, again, the one that came up with FEAR as well, because to break this brain drain, I know that word is so overused now, but to break the brain drain in Milwaukee. So people were complaining that it was nothing to do, especially for Black people. So it started as just like happy hours and parties, and now we've grown to kind of be a consulting business. So We have job postings. We can tell people what events to do in Milwaukee. We're from three of the people that are on the board right now are born and raised in Milwaukee. So I think we have some of the best like outlooks and insights to our city. So no one else should be really telling our story but us. We know where you can go get your hair done, your nails, make sure you're Black, drinks, food, like that type of thing. So we've shifted over to that. We help businesses create events for their like incoming young professionals, new people to the city. So just trying to like make sure people see the great things that are in Milwaukee for people of color.
So when I finally get to Milwaukee, what am I doing? What sites am I seeing? Where am I going? Where am I staying? What is there to do? I want to be with my people though. I don't want to be,
Yeah. Okay. Well, Karlie, I got some places, but go ahead, Karlie.
You can go. Go ahead.
So you have to run by the lake. That's one of my favorite places to run. It's beautiful. We do have a bunch of very amazing and beautiful trails to do some trail running if you love that. I'm a Milwaukee girl, so I like beer, I like to drink, and I like to eat. I like
to eat too.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to eat.
I love the big pretzels with the cheese. Everything is cheese curd.
You have to get cheese curd.
Cheese curd, everything. Amazing.
Wait, what's cheese curd?
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
We don't have that here.
So a cheese curd so there's two different times. There's like actual like cold cheese curds where it's just like cheese, but it's like a little ball of cheese. Mm-hmm. But what we're talking about are like deep fried cheese curds. Oh. And Milwaukee has some of the best deep fried cheese curds. But it's like at different places. It's not just one place. Like I could give you a list. I love cheese curds. That is my favorite food, and I have a list of restaurants in my phone where I'm always like, this is where you need to go to get the best kind.
So cheese curds is a must in Milwaukee.
Yeah. We do Friday fish fries. So today's Friday, I'll be getting a fish fry. So that is definitely, I want to be a fish fry connoisseur. So I go dive. I'll go to a grimy bar and eat catfish, perch for sure, cod. So that's a big thing. Friday fish fries are big here. And I didn't know other people didn't do that.
No.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Maybe down south more they do that. And,
maybe
Atlanta, South Carolina, North Carolina area, they do that.
Yeah, I thought everybody did. So that's huge here. Sherman Phoenix, that's been at national news a lot. It's basically like a Black public market. So you can find everything from yoga to tea to desserts. You can get your hair cut, you can get your nails done, you can get your lashes done. Everything in this one-stop shop. You can get wings, you can get healthy food. It's amazing. I love it. Yeah. I know. I don't know what just great. I don't know any. I think that would be those are my go-to things to people.
Those are usually the things that I tell people that they need to do when they come here for their first time. Other than maybe a few other restaurants I would recommend, but those are some things you want to do. And we do have some nice museums here too.
And where should we stay? Are there neighborhoods within Milwaukee? Is there a downtown area?
Oh yeah, we have a pretty nice downtown. I mean, not as nice as other cities I think I've seen, but it's building. I think any hotel downtown, you're pretty safe. What is the most beautiful one? Oh, the one with the art attached. The art.
St. Kate.
Yeah, St. Kate.
That's a beautiful. That is an absolutely beautiful hotel. The food is good there too.
Yeah.
I have good wine
That's a plus.
tasting as well.
Yeah.
If you're into wine, good wine tasting.
Yeah, they are very good. Yeah, St. K is beautiful. That's where I would stay. Yeah, that's downtown. Everything is like, there's no traffic. Everything, I feel like the furthest away you could be is maybe a half hour. So literally a half hour away from anything is pretty good. Yeah, and it's a legit half hour. You're not like sitting in traffic. Our 5 o'clock traffic is like barely anything, nothing compared to what you probably experience or anything like that.
Well, don't go to Atlanta. You don't want to sit near 5 o'clock traffic. It's a hot mess.
Yeah.
You won't do that here.
Yeah, you don't have anything like that. Yeah, you don't have to make time for that. So that's the good things about Milwaukee, for sure.
I always tell people I can always get to work in 10 minutes or less, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Nice. So is there anything else that you ladies wanted to tell the audience about what do you call are you a group? Are you a run crew? How would you classify?
We're a run crew.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anything else we need to know about FEAR MKE? FEAR Milwaukee? You say FEAR Milwaukee or FEAR MKE?
MKE.
MKE.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say that please come visit us. You are not the first person that said, I've never been to Milwaukee, never been to Wisconsin. That's not something on my radar. And then they meet us and then they want to come. So if you think me and Karlie are great, that's only 2. Everybody else is way cooler than me, I'm speak. But but yeah, and even if you can't come, make sure you're making a difference in your city to run and to bridge that gap and change that running narrative. We need more people that look like us to be running, and for other people to see that, and for these babies to see that, so they know that running is also an option.
Well, I want to thank you ladies, Karlie and Tenia, for being on the Runway podcast. I love when I get to chat with other women and seeing women in leadership positions, because we're the minority being Black, and we're also the minority being women, in these organizations. So I'm happy to see you ladies here chatting with me and in leadership roles within your group. So tell everyone where we can find your group on socials.
Yeah, you can find FEAR at FEAR MKE on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And then you can find Social X at Social X MKE on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook as well.
Okay. And y'all, if you're listening, come on out to Milwaukee when we can travel again. They have some good things to offer in the city of Milwaukee.
Yes, we will take care of you.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. Thank you again for being on the Runway podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course.
I hope you enjoyed my interview with FEAR MKE. I want to thank Tenia and Karlie for appearing on the Runway podcast. It was great chatting with them and good to learn a little bit about Milwaukee and their crew. I will leave all of their social handles below so you can check them out. And when we are able to travel again, make sure you keep Milwaukee on your list. I know that I will be checking out the race that they referred to me because I have to get Wisconsin checked off of my 50 states list. So I'm glad I have a few new friends in Milwaukee that can show me around the city when I get there. So thank you again for tuning in to this episode of the Runway podcast. Don't forget to leave a review of the show. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, you can scroll up right now, hit 5 stars, gotta leave a 5-star review, and write a written review if you can. It really helps the show to get noticed, to get recommended to other people, and it just keeps this little engine that could going. So thank you again for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one. Later. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Be sure to subscribe to The Runway on your favorite podcast app and leave us a review of the show on Apple Podcasts. It would really help me out. If you are a runner that has a story to tell and you would like to be on the show, you can email hello@therunwave.com, or
or send us a DM on Instagram to The Run Wave. See you next time.